Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody had a great holidays, had a great start to the New Year's. And I just decided to start this New Year's with offering everybody a free resume review. So this session is a free resume review. And the way I'm conducting this is that you do have to be on the live call with me. I've dropped the link in the chat, in the comment section. So please feel free to hop on the call. I can only have 10 people at a time in the studio room. So hop on the studio, get on the studio, and you'll be able to get your resume review. Full disclaimer, this is a review that is going to be public. And if you don't feel comfortable, you can always book a private resume review with me. Okay, so let's kick it off. Also in the comments, please let me know where you're tuning in. If you want a resume review, type it in the comment section so we can send you the link to begin. Okay, so let's begin. I already have people ready to go. Okay, so first person up is Lochin.
I'll just share my screen.
Hi, how are you, Lochin?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm from Montreal, Quebec, in
Montreal.
Canada. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Do you have your resume ready to go?
Yes. I'm just sharing the screen. Yeah, this is my resume.
Okay. Are you currently looking for a role?
Yeah, data engineering.
Data engineering. Okay.
Yeah.
And what salary are you looking for?
I have like around 4 years of experience, so maybe around like 85 to 90, somewhere around between there.
Okay. How long have you been job searching?
4 months actually.
4 months. In the 4 months, how many jobs have you applied to?
Around like 100 to 120.
Out of the 120, how many first call of interviews have you landed?
I got like 5 rounds, like three. I mean four to five,
I
and
just the first calls. I'm
yeah,
only
those are the my first calls. Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
So you've only out of the 120, you only got. Let's go with 5.
Yeah, exactly 5. Yeah.
Okay, so your resume is converting like 4% of the time. The
Oh,
conversion rate of your resume to land your interviews is only 4%.
okay.
Okay, so the reason I ask for these questions is
Okay.
it helps me understand what's going on. Also, it helps you see where the problem is, right? So if you are
Okay.
using, when you're applying to jobs online and you're using a resume, the resume is 100% the key for you to land interviews,
Yeah.
right? So if
Yes.
your resume is not landing you interviews, then the problem is the content of your resume.
Okay.
The resume is the issue, the content in it. Okay, so let me make the screen bigger just so I can see your screen.
Yeah, maybe I can just zoom in if you want. Like,
No, just give me 1 second. Is this one page?
I'm sorry.
Is your resume one page?
Yeah, just one page. Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one problem is that your resume
Oh.
is one page. It's why you're struggling to land interviews.
Okay.
You mentioned you have 4 years experience, so let's
Okay.
turn this into 2 pages.
Okay.
You will definitely see a huge improvement in that.
Okay.
The other thing is you don't want to start off your resume with technical skills. What you want to
Okay.
do is introduce yourself. What's your value proposition? What are you bringing to the table?
Okay.
Your resume has to grab attention
Okay.
for the reader. You have 5 seconds to grab someone's attention.
Yeah.
So this whole resume format definitely the format can change. Make it 2 pages. We need to change the layout, the format. So you need to have a value proposition. Then you have your skills. I would neatly organize your skills way better than the way you have it right now. Presentation is also a key. Number
Okay.
two thing is, the next thing is that you need to right away spell out that you have 4 years experience. Now, when you have 4 years experience, it contradicts the next thing in your experience, which is says data engineering intern.
Okay.
So, are you? Let me guess. You're doing your master's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
masters.
that's why your resume is 1 page. I've seen this common theme with people who are in master's program are doing 1 page resumes, but everyone's struggling to land interviews. Do not position yourself as a new grad. Don't position yourself as an intern. The minute someone sees intern, it automatically, to them, they're going to see you as somebody who has zero experience. No one's going to
Okay.
sit there and connect the dots that you're doing masters.
Okay.
Masters is a program that helps you professionally grow further in your career, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you need to position yourself as somebody that already has 4 years experience. Each of the roles, my
Okay.
overview of your experience, when I look at your experience section, you only have like 3 bullets in the first one, and it reads, all of this reads like a job description.
Okay.
And where's the depth of, like, when I look at this resume, you got to understand, when you're applying to jobs online, you're competing, like there's 400 to 500 to even thousands of people you're competing with,
Okay.
right? So number one thing is you do need to beat the competition. You do need to stand out of the competition in order to land interviews. This is where resumes become a key component to that success.
Okay.
There are tons of jobs in the market.
Mhm.
I think the biggest misconception people have is, oh, there's not a lot of jobs. It's not about, you don't need a lot of jobs in the market to land interviews. You can apply to 5 jobs and land 5 interviews.
Oh.
And also don't make it a numbers game. But the key here is your resume. Your resume is reading very general, basic, as somebody who can just do a job and follow directions. But with somebody of 4 years experience and you're looking for roles that pay 80 to 90K, companies are not looking for interns or new grads that for 80 to 90K, right? Like you can possibly even land a 100K position.
Okay.
That's where the resume is going to be a key here, in which I see a big problem with your resume.
Okay. Okay.
Huge improvement. That's why you're not landing interviews.
Okay.
To me, it also seems like when I look at your resume, you don't know how to write a resume.
Okay.
You have to have a dialogue here.
I mean,
like you have to don't just say okay.
Okay.
Do you know how to write a resume that will land you interviews? Because when I look at this resume, like, to me, I don't see anything that grabs my attention. I don't know who you are. I don't know how I'm going to benefit from you. I don't know what results you can get from me. I don't know how what problems you can solve, how many years experience you have. There's no clear communication
Okay.
going on.
I just sorry to interrupt. I just tried like a few formats and all. Maybe I just kept the skill section in the last. Sometimes I kept my professional summary in the first. Then I interchanged all these sections. The first one to professional summary, experience, skills. I interchanged during the last 4 months. So I've like tried like various formats and all, but
It's not about the format.
Okay.
Format is not format doesn't make or break, right? See how you said tried various format? I'm talking about the content.
Okay.
Format, don't get me wrong, format is important as well, but format is not, it's a cosmetic thing. It's a materialistic thing. It's a presentation thing that will wow somebody, right? But in the end of the day, for someone to pick up the phone and call you for an interview, it's what you write in the resume.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
And you come across as someone like a job description.
Okay.
So there's no tangible results. I don't know what results you can get. I don't know what problems you can solve just because you add like 20%, 20%, 30%. A lot of people don't know how to use matrix. A lot of people do traditionally what you're doing, just throw a number. But that number needs to tell a story. There needs to be element of storytelling, which I don't see in your resume.
Okay.
Well, what makes you better than everybody that's applying to the job. You have to start thinking in terms of your competition, right? How are you better than your competition? You're competing. Let's be honest. This is a competition. When you're applying for jobs, it's a competition.
Okay.
Best
I'll just-
competitor wins, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And if you just look, I'll be honest, if you're just sitting on the internet searching for the best templates and best formats of a resume, unfortunately, you're always going to be in this position where you applied to 120 jobs but only landed 5 calls.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Right? I don't want you to apply to 120 jobs. I want you to apply to 10 jobs and like 8 out of 10 interviews.
Okay, I'll try.
It's not a numbers game. I found a lot of people making a numbers game, but definitely you need to write a resume. I call it interview worthy resume. An interview worthy resume that's going to help you, one, position yourself as the expert in data engineer, right? But what are you an expert in? What are you exceptionally great at when it comes to data? Because those are your job titles, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, data
But I don't know what you are exceptionally great at and what problems you can solve, what high level problems have you solved, and the results you got in, and the numbers needs to be there, not percentages.
Sure.
If you're going to do percentages, then it has to be, the before and after.
Sure.
So I can teach you how to write a resume that will help you land interviews like instantly.
Okay.
Quickly, I'm gonna drop the link. I have a course that I've already put together.
Okay.
That you can grab. It's super affordable. It's going to be Worthy Resume, and here's the link to grab it. Everyone's that's taken this course instantly started landing interviews.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll just have a look at it.
Follow the teachings the way I teach you how to write a resume. You will land interviews.
Sure. I'll just yeah.
Okay.
And can I have one quick question? What can be, I mean, the order, maybe like starting with skills and then the experience and then like
you
what
need
should
to have a value proposition statement. You need to,
okay.
Like, what are you bringing to the table? That I teach. Okay, everyone's resumes format needs to look like this. If you, especially because you are aiming for higher salary, especially when you're going into higher ranges of salary.
Okay.
Let me pull up a template that I give. Okay, so this is a resume I wrote for one of my clients. So I did remove their name out for privacy purposes. Everyone's resumes needs to start with, you claim what you're an expert in. I do add a hook statement that grabs attention. This right away grabs attention. You got 5 seconds. This is your value proposition. You do your skills like this. By the way, this entire resume is ATS friendly. I have 20 years of experience with applicant tracking systems. Then you tell your career success stories. This is how you write your titles, your companies you worked for. You do want to have a hook statement, that one big result you got. You summarize what you do in a couple of sentences, paragraphs, just a paragraph summary of what your responsibilities are in the role. Then you use the bullets to tell your success stories, the results you got, the problems you solved, how the company benefited from you being in the role, because that's what companies are looking for. That's the bottom line. Companies not looking for people who can do a job. Companies are looking for people who can get them results.
Okay, yeah, got it.
I give this template in my course. I teach you how to write a resume, plus I give you ChatGPT prompts as well to help you speed up in writing the resume.
Okay.
Number 2 thing is the way I teach you how to write a resume is also going to help you ace those interviews.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Next person up is okay, so I am going to request, once you have your resume review, guys, if you can just start to exit out of the studio so that other people can join the studio because the studio is full. So Lochin, if you can exit out and make room for others to join, that'd be great. Okay, so the next person up was Deepak. It's just a humble request for everybody. Please, once I call your name, please have your screen ready to go, ready to share so we save time. Okay, Deepak,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, perfect.
Are you currently looking for a job?
Yes, I haven't applied any yet. I'm in my position from last 8 to 9 years. So this is a resume I built recently, kind of, because right now where I am at kind of stagnant. So
1 second, just let's can
sorry, go ahead.
sorry. If let me ask a question and just please just kindly just answer the question. So you are currently looking for a role.
Yes,
What role are you looking for?
cybersecurity analyst.
What salary are you looking for?
Around 120 to 140.
And you just started, you said, right?
Looking for, yes.
Have you applied to any jobs?
No.
Haven't applied. Okay, so right off the bat, I can tell you your resume is not ATS friendly.
Okay.
So if you're gonna use this resume to apply to jobs online, you're gonna run into that battle obstacle of it not being ATS friendly applicant tracking system. So your layout is not ATS friendly. You got the columns going, and some ATS cannot read columns. You're not gonna know which ones can and which ones cannot. So it's best to always have your resumes written in simple text, ATS friendly version resumes, which that is not. Number two, I see you have objective written. This is outdated method of writing a resume is having an objective. To be honest, in the world we live in today, companies really do not, and I say this with love and respect, companies do not care about your objective. They're more interested in what their objective is. So you need to remove the objective section. I would remove the profile summary section as well. I'm not sure why people do that, why people have to like objective, the never profile summary or highlights section. What you need to do is number one thing is right away you need to communicate what you're an expert in because you're looking for a 120K role. You're looking for 6 figures. 6 figures is where you claim an expert. You got to claim you're an expert, present yourself as an expert. You need to communicate how many years experience you have right off the bat. If you want to land 120K, you need to look the part, which unfortunately this resume doesn't come across as you being a caliber that's 120K plus salary figure. So big problem right there. And this is a very basic resume. Can you scroll down?
Sure.
By the way, if everybody start paying attention, you'll see everyone's making the same common mistakes in their resumes. Now, your resume is also hard to follow because you got the columns going, right? You got
Right.
one side, then you got the right side, you got certification, then you got trainings, you got the skills. It's really confusing. You have to make the reader's life so easy. Again, you're dealing with high competition.
Okay.
The market is highly competitive. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is you're going to be overlooked. And then when you look at your experience section, you've written a job description versus really talking about you've been in one role for 7 years or one company for 7 years.
Right.
In one role, you've been with one company in one role for 7 years?
No. I'm company with 8 years, but it's been three roles.
Well, if you look at how you position yourself on your resume, it looks like you've been an IT infrastructure specialist for 7 years. So that's going to work against you because that comes across that you didn't get a promotion and no company wants somebody who just stayed in one role and didn't move up.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's going to strike against you. So that's a huge problem in your resume. Your resume needs to look similar to what I just showed earlier on the screen.
Yeah. Noted.
To be very honest and frank, your resume needs a lot of work. The biggest challenge is I don't even know what, like you say cybersecurity, but I don't see anything cybersecurity about you on the resume. I'm just going by the resume.
Okay.
Like you say IT infrastructure specialist, but you're telling me you're cybersecurity.
Right.
That there's a misalignment with what you communicated to me to what I see on your resume.
This is just a title which company gives you, but the job profile kind of is sometimes different than the title. So that's why it's a thing. So the title I mentioned is the title the company gave it to you. So
let's not focus on job titles. You got to
okay.
focus on what is it that you want.
Okay. Makes
What
sense,
are you
yes.
what are you an expert in? Are you an expert in cybersecurity and you claim that space?
No, that is correct. But when you write work experience in a company, you write the title you have current, right?
No, that's another mistake people are making, is just writing job titles, what the company gave you. To be on, I work in HR and I can tell you job titles mean nothing.
Okay.
A lot of times the roles I was doing really didn't reflect my job titles, but when I was looking for jobs, I changed the job title to really reflect on what I was doing.
Okay.
Every company will have their own unique job titles. That doesn't mean that we use them on our resumes.
Okay.
So you will have to interchange the titles. You do have to change the title to match the role you're looking for. The thing is, you got to connect the dots for the reader. You're not, when the reader is reading your resume, we're not, it's not like this, how me and you are talking.
Right.
That's the number one thing I think that doesn't connect for people, is that when your resume is being read by somebody, you are not sitting there next to them. That's why the powerful thing on your resume is how you communicate. How do you write those sentences in a way that easily communicates to the reader and connects all the dots? There should be no room for confusion. There should be no room for them to sit there and be like, oh my God, what is this person trying to say, right? It's that it's not about fancy words. You can keep your resume in simple 5-grade English and land interviews.
Right. Okay.
And I think the biggest misconception, people think there's a magic format, there's a magic template. There's really no magic format or magic template. The magic is in the power of how you communicate on your resume in a simple form that the reader easily understands and they want to call you for an interview. So there's psychology that goes into how do you need to write your resume.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest disconnect on everyone's resume, is you're not writing for the person you're sending it to. You're too focused on what's the best format or how to beat the ATS. Some people focus on that as well.
No, perfect. Thank you. Glad I did this session. No.
I think you can definitely benefit from my resume writing course,
Sure.
which has already helped thousands of people fix their resumes and start landing interviews fast.
Okay, for sure. I'll take a look.
Perfect.
Thank you, Gurpreet.
You're welcome. And Deepak, just if you can leave the studio so other people can join, that'd be perfect. Okay, next person is Hope.
One moment, I'm just uploading the file.
Everyone, please, that's in the studio, humble request. I've requested this multiple times. Please have your resumes ready to go. When I call your name, just have your resume ready to share so we can save some time. I'm trying to keep this call for an hour. If you don't have your resume ready, I will move on to the next person until you have your resume ready. So Hope, do you have your resume ready? Who has their resume ready to share? Like, your resume has to be ready to share in terms of you already have it uploaded, and I can just call on you to once I call your name, you're already ready to share your screen. Oh, Hope's there. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, what role are you looking for, Hope?
I'm looking for a strategic marketing manager role. I've been looking for about 6 months and applied to 45, 50 places and have had 6 or 7 interviews.
What salary are you looking for?
120 to 140.
Landed how many first round of interviews?
Probably like 5 to 6 first round of interviews.
And how many jobs did you apply to?
45.
5. So your resume is converting 15% of the time to interviews. You've won an Emmy?
I was nominated for an Emmy.
For a TV show, was it?
It was for a fashion reality show, and I was in charge of the digital marketing, and that's the category that we were nominated for.
Okay. Okay, so you started strong in like Emmy nominated marketing innovator, but then you went into saying extensive experience working on winning credit card marketing. You see how that goes? It's confusing now. Like I know what Emmy is, but then you start talking about credit card. So I would say you need to get very clear on what type of marketing do you want to get into?
I really want to do the marketing strategy, and I can do it I have a lot of experience in the credit card industry or just in general in the consumer goods industry. And the Emmy was working for Kenmore, so that's a consumer product on a digital TV show. So that's how it ties in. I don't want to do TV. I would like to do marketing. And if producing another show was a part of it, it's just a channel, I would love to do that.
Okay. So you don't have your opening isn't strong.
Okay.
It's vague and you're focused on talking about yourself more. Like my passion is working on cross-functional teams. And you know this better than anybody since you're in marketing, right? What is marketing? Your resume, by the way, is a marketing pitch. So I need you to remove the element of you out of this entire equation. And you need to put on your marketing hat to market you. Your resume is a marketing advertisement that's supposed to advertise you. And the way to advertise is you're hitting on a pain point. I don't see any pain point here. I just see you speaking on you. But how do I, as a company, benefit from you? How are you going to increase my sales? I don't see anything about revenues. I don't see anything about sales. So that whole opening line is going to work against you. And the Emmy I get it that you've been nominated for an Emmy for marketing. I'm not sure what company that was. When I look at your experience section as well, digital marketing, digital megaphone events and consulting marketing strategist. What company is this though?
It's my company, and we used to produce events before COVID, and now I'm doing marketing consulting, working on a variety of projects.
Okay, but what's the company name?
Digital Megaphone.
Okay, see how confusing it is? It says digital megaphone events and then consulting and marketing. I don't know to me it seems like that's your job title.
Got it. Okay.
So that's the biggest confusion on the way you're presenting the information for each role is confusing. You don't want to tie the company name and your job titles into one line. Your skills sections, I'm just going to move the skills section. Obviously, I would change it. This again, it could be ATS friendly and it cannot be ATS friendly. You're not going to know because you're not going to know what systems are. rule of thumb for ATS purposes, just remove columns and tables. I just tell people to do that because, again, you're not going to know which ATS can read it and which can't. Generally speaking, your email and your title, your phone number and stuff, generally I've seen it on top, whereas is the way you have it, which is fine. But you do have a value proposition statement, and then the skill section is fine. And then when I read led the development of marketing strategy guide, that's a job description developed and presented LinkedIn training to the marketing community during COVID. That doesn't give me any context. When I'm reading your bullets, you're presenting yourself the way you're writing, kind of like a job description, like I can do this, but you're not talking about problems, results. The biggest thing marketing is all about generating, creating brand awareness, generating loyal customers, building sales. There's no sales without marketing. But I don't see any revenue figures here.
Okay.
So you're going to lose out there because I'm not going to hire somebody just because you're Emmy nominated if you can't back it up and show me concrete. Where's the numbers? I want to see sales. I want to see revenues generated. How much revenues were generated by each campaigns, each marketing campaigns that you developed.
Got it. Okay.
The biggest drawback is that on your resume.
Cool. I do have it. There is a second page there.
The thing is, nobody's going to go to second page if I don't see anything on the first page that remotely tells me you're a great marketer and I need to get on the call and talk to you.
Okay.
Right? So great, you got the awards. Now, when it comes to education, I always tell people to write your credentials behind your last name. So right off the bat, people kind of know the letters and what education level you have. The biggest thing is you need to put on your marketing hat on and use your resume as you're selling a product. Develop a marketing pitch. Again, marketing is all about each marketing campaign is targeting and solving a problem, touching on pain points and solving problems and solutions. And that's like your own one-on-one marketing is missing out of your own.
Thank you. And what about the highlights of expertise? Do you think that's in the right place?
I don't care for highlights of expertise, but you do. It's not. This is more of a skills table. You do need the skills table because it's a quick way for people to glance. This, I always say, skills tables is always interchangeable, based on the role you're. Your entire resume, to be honest, I think where people always fail out on resumes is that when they're applying to a job, they don't custom write a resume to that one job. You can have an extra written resume, but your resume has to be custom written to the one you're applying to. Because each companies are looking for different things.
Right. Okay.
So you have to use the language the company is using. You have to speak in their language, not your language. And that's always the biggest disconnect as well, is we're so used to speaking the way we talk, but we have to speak the way the role we're applying to, the way that hiring manager is speaking, how they wrote the job, the languages that they're using, the lingual, the words, everything has to be written in their language. That's something, if you're an expert in marketing, you'll know how to do.
Great. Okay.
Basically, resume writing is copywriting. I don't know if you know how to do copywriting.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
So I teach how to write resumes from that aspect. Psychology, like my methods and teachings of writing resumes backed by science of psychology, how people buy, how people hire, and then backed by copywriting. I use the art of copywriting in writing resumes and teach you how to write, basically teach you those skills so that you can write a resume that lands you interviews.
Is this your resume workshop, or do you also have a copywriting workshop for resumes?
It's based. I teach it in the resume workshop. How to use languages that are related to the role you're applying to, and then I also give you ChatGPT prompt scripts to help you speed that writing process up.
Okay.
That are already formatted into the way I teach how to write a resume. The key is you need to know the value of the table in terms of dollar value. A lot of times people think the value they're bringing is their, oh, I'm a great marketer, I can build campaigns. No, that's not the value you bring. The value has to be what the other person values, not what you think your value is. It's what the other person, what's value to them. And that's the language you speak.
I got it. Okay, I have to look to see where I can add more numbers. I see. So underneath the MasterCard Blogger Engagement Director, where I generated millions of earned media impressions, is there anything else I could have added with numbers there? Some of these things don't have numbers.
Well, for example, when you say you led let's look at the development of marketing strategy guide. What marketing strategy guide are we talking about? See how you're being vague? I don't know what you're assuming the reader will just understand that marketing strategy guide designed to streamline the marketing process for a major pharmaceutical company. You're assuming that the reader will just understand exactly what you're trying to say here. By the way, I don't know what marketing strategy guide you developed. And I don't know what marketing process you're trying to streamline for which major pharmaceutical company, because you don't mention the name. But what's the problem that you're solving? So when I teach resume writing, I also teach you a formula that I use on how to write a bullet point.
Okay.
Your bullet point has to be read like it's a lot of times people are just looping a bunch of things. Then that's exactly what you've done in that bullet. You've just looped one thing into you've looped big thing into one thing, if that makes sense. Like, led a development and marketing strategy guide designed to streamline the marketing process for a major pharmaceutical company. But if I were to reverse engineer, I'm going to tell you, you designed this because you're solving a problem. What was the big problem in the marketing process that led you to the solution that they need to have a marketing strategy guide?
Okay. See, that's so much. It's because, and I can't say the company because it was a contract job, but because
why can't you say the company name? Because this is not a public document. Resumes are not public documents.
Oh, because my agreement with the company that hired me is to not share their name.
Okay.
So that's unfortunately, and that we did it because pharma marketing is complex. So we took something that was completely a complex process, and we helped to streamline it. We helped to streamline it to make the rules and regulations easier to follow.
See, you said rules and regulations, but that's not there. Okay. That major component of rules and regulations not mentioned. You took they had a complex marketing process, you said?
Correct, yeah.
What made it complex?
All the rules and regulations that pharma marketers need to follow it's complex. There's a lot of room to make mistakes that could get the company in a lot of trouble. So what we did was we put a process in place to make it easier for the marketers to be able to hit all the buttons they needed to hit and make sure they're doing it compliantly.
Okay, now the way you're communicating, I understand, but now look at the language you used to communicate all that.
Yes, I'd have to figure out how to make that in just a couple of things. It's a lot to say in just in a bullet.
Yeah, so there's a big messaging problem.
Yeah.
Each of your bullets, everyone's bullets so far I'm reading, and I can get into even the people that are going to come after you, everyone has a messaging problem in their bullets. That's what the roadblock in your landing interviews. We have to simplify the message so that when our messaging has to be so clear that when the reader is reading it, they can visualize it, they can see it, they can feel it, they can touch it. So it's kind of like we have 5 senses on a human. We have to make the reader feel emotions. Human beings are emotionally driven individuals. We all make emotion decisions. Right? you want to land that interview, we have to make them feel. And when everyone's resumes are written, like if you look at everyone's resumes, you'll see everyone's resumes on a surface sound the same. I led this, I developed this, I did this. It's so generalized. There's no story. Your bullets have to tell a story. They also have to invoke emotions in a human being to like, oh my God, this is amazing. And they have to feel things. And the last emotion is that, oh my God, I got to call this person. If I don't, I'm going to lose her to my competition.
How much does the cover letter come into play with that? Does that help? Because you can.
No. Cover letters are missing. It's dependent on the reader, right? I don't read cover letters that go straight for resumes, but one of my bosses in HR, they didn't care for resumes, they read letters, right? So you do need the package to have a cover letter. The same thing with cover letters, or people are just summarizing their resumes. Cover letters are not meant to summarize your resumes. The messaging here, you have a messaging issue in bullets, and the biggest thing is you gotta nail down to, when it comes to marketing, what are you exceptionally great at? What are you an expert in? Because you told me you want to land 120, 140 role, and in order to get that high paying salary role, you can't just say I'm a marketing strategist. That's generalized. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're good at, right?
Okay.
So you need to start thinking on a deep. I don't know. Did you take my 4-day career challenge?
I didn't. No, I didn't even know about it.
So in my 4-day career challenge, I actually walk you through. So it's a 4-part training, and it's free to take. I think you will deeply benefit from that, because that's going to help you clear your message.
I would love to. Is there a link, or can I just?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now, because you have a messaging. You have an issue with how to take your entire experience and package it and sell you.
Right. Because the last several jobs I had before this one had been referrals. Google was a referral. I didn't even come to them. They came to me. The pharmaceutical company came to me. And so this is the first time I'm actually having to go out there. And it's been really frustrating because I'm used to the jobs, the
job coming to you. Yeah. So because you were used to having jobs coming to you, you never had to worry about all this stuff. So now you don't know how to do this. So take the 4-day career breakthrough challenge. It is free to take. And in there, I teach you how to package and position your experience to land high-paying salary roles.
Okay. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. This was so helpful.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll sign off now. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so completed Hope. Who was after Hope? Sai, SAI. Once I'm done reviewing your resume, if you guys can just leave the studio, so the studio's full, other people are waiting to join. So Sai, SAI, just make sure you have your resume ready to share, please.
Yes, I'm sharing it.
Thank you.
So is my screen visible?
Okay.
So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Firstly, thank you so much for this free session. And
You're
I would
welcome.
also like to wish you a very happy new year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
And Sai, what are you currently looking for a job?
Yes, I'm looking for a job in supply chain management. I
How long
already
have
have
you
an
been
experience.
looking?
I've been looking for 2 weeks because I'll be graduating in coming May. So I just started my job search.
Just started. Okay. How many years experience you have in supply chain? 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right. Okay. So the presentation of your resume, can you zoom out? I'm going to tell you the same thing I told the other person. Your resume needs to be not one page. Turn this into 2 page. Your resume presentation is very clustered and busy and messy. There's no enough white space. And then once you get into the work experience, you did 2 columns. You have work experience and then you got your technical skills. Now that is taken away from it not being an ATS friendly resume.
Okay.
ATS cannot read, some ATS even today cannot read columns, form tables and stuff like that. It's key on how we present ourselves does matter. How you show up and how you showing up on your resume does matter. If you can zoom in now. You've graduated?
No, not yet. Yeah, I've done my bachelor's in business. I've graduated in
Yes,
2019.
and then you have a master's of business admin. You can write your credentials right behind your last name. Education and any certifications and educations can be put on the last page. It's not something we lead with when you
Okay.
have experience. You have 4.5 years experience. When I look at, I don't recommend people writing profile summaries. I recommend writing your value proposition. What are you bringing to the table? How would the company benefit from you? How would the company profit from you?
Okay.
Like move away from all this expertise in procurement, logistics, warehousing. You're saying you have expertise. When you start to list, and I call this like a laundry list of things you can do, now you're not an expert. That means
I
you
get
have general understanding of these areas, but what are you actually an expert in when it comes to supply chain? That's something you need to start thinking about. And then the education, I'll move that. Like the profile summary is just you talking about your skills, but you already have a skills section to talk about your skills and list your skills. Then you talk about pursuing dual master degrees. You have to understand that it's great that don't get me wrong, amazing that you believe in professional development, you're getting dual master's degrees, but how would the company benefit from that? How would the company profit from that? You have to start thinking, everybody that's listening right now, you got to start thinking like a business. Bottom line of every business is they care about profits. They care about making money. They care about revenues. They care about profits. Every single person in the company is hitting that bottom line of the business. We're working towards that. We're hitting those goals. So you got to start thinking about how does the company profit from you?
I get it. Yes.
And if you can't, until you don't understand how company profits from you, will always continue to struggle in landing interviews, especially making more money, getting paid, and landing those high-paying salary jobs. You can be exceptionally great at what you do, but if you don't know how to communicate that and in the message that resonates to the reader, you're always going to struggle to land those interviews. And this is for everybody, not just for you. So the key comes down to how we package ourselves and position ourselves, and then how we communicate, and the messaging is the key here, right? So that's biggest thing that I so far seen even in your resume that's lacking.
I understand. Yes.
And then you got email, and then I don't know why you have another email. Why do you have 2 emails? 1 email is good enough.
Okay.
The work experience, you're focusing more on talking about, okay, now, sorry, go back up. Where are you located? Are you in India? No,
I'm
right?
in France.
Where are you in France?
Rouen.
Okay, so we do have to do, okay, I'm going to take a step back because I didn't notice the location. So you're in a different country. I'm not sure on how France likes their resumes, so that's something you're going to have to look into and make sure your resume is accordance to how people in France want it. And then I would even, I don't know how much you're going to benefit from listing the current position, the last position you had, you have it down as the company locations in Mumbai.
Mhm.
So now that's going to come across as somebody to a reader that you don't have France, you've never worked in France, right? So
Yes.
sometimes we do have to remove the elements that will work against us,
I get it. Yes.
right? So I would remove the location, but now you got to make your, are you targeting roles in France?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to make this entire resume position you as somebody who already knows the country France. You know the ins and outs. You know how they operate. You know how the supply chain works in France and the laws around supply chain, the regulations and all that. That's one of the keys. Is when you're trying to land a role in a different country and you've never worked in that country, you have to already come across somebody who already knows everything in that country.
I get it. Yes.
And that's where you're going to have a drawback if you don't position and yourself like that. Like,
Yes.
I don't know the company you worked for, Asian Paints. Maybe you were dealing with people in France. Maybe your inventory and supplies were coming from France, for example. Maybe you were shipping to France, for example, right? If you were doing anything related to France, has to be what's in your resume, and everything that's not related to France now has to come out.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes. It makes sense.
And I don't know, I'm just being 100% honest with you. I don't know how a resume in France needs to look like. I've never done any hiring in France. So
Okay.
make sure you do some homework and research. That's a quick thing to do, to know exactly how your resume needs to be in alignment with how country in companies in France want it.
Yes, I get it.
Okay?
Yeah.
So maybe the ATS may not apply to you.
Mhm.
I didn't see the location you were in. I need to start asking everyone's location first.
Yeah.
But the way we write resumes is universal. That stays, doesn't matter what country. The format obviously changes based on the country you are in, but the messaging doesn't. Bottom line of every business is they want to make money and want to profit. And every person they hire in the company is they want to profit from that person in that role. And that's
Yes.
what you have to spell out, is how a company will profit from you.
Yes.
Okay?
I get it. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Sai, if you can just leave the studio so it gives an opportunity for other people to join. Okay, after Sai was who? Janati, if you're still here. Yeah, you are. Jayanti, is it? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Sir, it's Jayanti.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. You ready to share your resume?
Yes, I am ready to share my resume. I'm sorry. Can you see my resume now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so are you currently looking for a role?
Yes, I'm looking for data analyst and data scientist type of roles.
Okay, how long have you been looking?
For the past 8 months,
How many jobs have you applied to?
more than 700.
How many first round of interviews you've landed?
4.
About only 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so your resume is barely converting into interviews. Your resume is 2 pages. Okay. How many years experience you have as a data analyst? Can you zoom in your resume, please?
Yeah, sure. Can you just see properly?
Yeah, just keep zooming until I tell you to stop. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of okay, let me go over the format first. You've wasted a lot of space in the beginning with your name, your data analyst, and then your all that stuff. Look how much space that's taken up. You can just simply have everything going from left to right. Your name doesn't need to be so big.
Okay.
at all. I think you were on the call when I showed the way the resume needs to be, right? The
Yeah,
format.
yes.
Yeah, so just follow, like, that's the format I would follow. You
Okay.
never want to start with a summary. You don't want to talk about detail-oriented, data-driven data science. Everybody uses those words: detail-oriented, data-driven. Those are overkill, overplayed. The words have no meanings anymore. You don't want to position yourself as a graduate.
Okay.
Do you have work experience? Have you ever worked?
I have worked in India, but not here.
Work is work. Experience is experience. Doesn't matter what country you got it from.
As a systems engineer.
Okay, so don't position yourself as a graduate. Just position yourself somebody who already has experience.
Okay.
What country are you aiming for?
US.
Okay, so United States. I would not. The next section shouldn't be education. Education, put in the last section. I would organize the skills section a little bit more neater, so it's easy to follow. Then right now, so presentation is messy. Your projects. What do you mean by projects? These are the projects you've done in school?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay, the way to position projects is you need to show them like work experience, and only projects needs to be here is anything related to the role you're looking for, if it's data.
Okay.
Because I don't understand advanced image text fusion for hate speech dictation.
That is related to data only. Yeah. I
So
don't like
see how you gotta, don't give the project name has to really emphasize data.
Okay.
Everything has to have spelled out data, right? Like when I look at advanced, I don't even know how is this related to data, right?
Okay, got
You
it.
got to connect the dots for the reader. So
Okay.
don't put the project name that you had it in school. You got to say data extraction for hate speech dictation, for example.
Okay, got it.
And then you want to speak on how you did it, how do you do this, and the success rate, what and why did you do it, and all that good stuff needs to be there.
Got
So
it.
follow that through for the entire projects. Again, only put relevant projects that going to help you land the role you really want.
Okay. Okay.
And then you got to talk about the results, the success rate results, and what was it before, what was it after. And then when we look at the freelance stuff, remove India out of the equation. You don't need to list the country name, but what you do need to speak of, you were a freelancer from 2017 to 2022. What companies did you work for? List the client names. What were you doing? What problems were you solving? What results did you get? If you're going to use percentages, you got to say before and after. The
Okay.
biggest disconnect with percentage I see people doing is just throwing percentages, but the percentage doesn't tell a clear story. You're saying data retrieval times by reducing data retrieval times by 30%. I don't know what that 30% looks like because I don't even know what it was before that.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So when we're using data and matrix, it needs to tell a story. A lot of times we're using it, especially percentages, it needs to tell the transformation story. So I call this a transformation story, and it needs to have a transformational before and after.
Got it. Got it.
You got to focus a lot more on results. And then the way you communicate your messaging of your bullets has to read more of profitability, the problem you solved, the results you got, versus just saying, I did this, I developed this kind of thing.
Okay, got it.
Don't be vague in your experience. Like you took a lot of chunk of your resume in the projects, when school projects are school projects, but real work experience speaks more high volume than your school projects.
Okay, got it.
So maybe have a separate section for the project. Again, projects should be only related to the role you're looking for, but I would focus more emphasis on your actual real experience. Because like freelancers, I wouldn't even put yourself as a freelancer because you're saying data analyst consultant.
Okay.
You can put a freelance, it's fine, but the only way this can speak high volume when you start dropping client names.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So it can be entered 2 pages, right? No problem with the content.
Yeah,
for 2
no,
pages.
no. Highly recommend everybody having 2 pages.
Okay, got it.
2 pages, you're able to communicate more effectively and efficiently versus trying to cramp everything into 1 page.
Okay.
I've successfully helped people. Everybody that I reviewed resumes, once they changed it to 2 pages, they started like landing interviews.
Okay,
Make
got
your
it.
life easy. Like there's no rule of thumb. My resume writing course that I'm telling everybody to grab, one of the bonus that I'm throwing in there, I did a round table with almost like 8 hiring experts. I had 8 recruitment experts. Few were senior VP level hiring managers, like VP people, and then there was a couple of recruiters and talent acquisition. One was from Deloitte. They all shared their insights in this private session that I'm giving as a bonus for you for free. When you take it, everyone say they don't. No one has once said that if your resume is more than 1 page that you're not landing an interview. No
Okay.
one. It's not
Okay.
about how many pages your resume is. Of course, nobody wants a novel.
Yeah, I
It's all about
understand.
the relevant information. Are you speaking to what they're looking for and what they want and what the results they're looking for? Are you speaking to them? Your resume has to be relevant to the person you're sending it to. I highly recommend my resume writing course.
Sure,
Right
sure.
now, I'm giving it off on 50%.
So how long is the course? Like, may I ask such questions here?
You can ask any questions. It's a self-study course. It's up to
Okay.
you how fast. Like I taught the course live. It's a live recording and it's 2 hours. Two and a
So,
half. 2.5.
so we have to undergo the course and then we have to write the resume by our own and then we have to send it to you, or your team will help us in.
It's a self-paced course, so it's like do it yourself.
Okay.
You can send your resume for me to review, but I charge for that.
Okay, the course is only for the content of the.
Yeah, I teach you how to write a resume.
Okay.
My step-by-step process. I give you my templates as well, a resume template with examples. So a lot of the legwork's taken out, and then a clean template. Plus, I give you ChatGPT prompts for each method I teach you. So I'm teaching you 6 steps on how to write a resume. I
Okay.
teach you I have a value formula that I use to help you figure out what's your value that you're bringing to the table, and then how to communicate it and how to come up with numbers. I give you that value formula, and I also give you ChatGPT prompt that's already programmed with my value formula. My
Got it.
teachings, my ChatGPT are based on my teachings. So the prompts you're getting is a easily formula that's already plugged into the ChatGPT
Okay, got it.
using my formulas.
Got
Make
it.
your life easy. Take all the guesswork out and know how to write a resume that will land you interviews.
Sure, sure, I'll do that.
Because without resumes, you're not landing interviews, right?
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
It's an investment. And right now I'm giving it off for 50%. You can grab it. More than 50%, you can grab it for $47. Original price is $100.
Yes, I saw the website and I'll book it now.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Jayanti, if you can leave the studio, so it gives other people the opportunity to come in. Okay, after Janant was who? Saravanti? Are you still here?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Okay, do you have your resume ready to share?
Yes. Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Are you currently looking for a role?
Yes, I am. As a data engineer.
How long have you been looking?
8 months.
How many roles have you applied to? How many jobs have you applied in the 8 months?
I approximately 80 to 90.
And how many first round calls have you gotten?
5.
Okay, your resume is converting to interviews 25% of the time.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I can tell you your resume is not ATS friendly. Which country are you from? Sorry. What
Um,
country? Where are you located? Because I don't see that before.
yeah, currently in US.
And you're looking for a role in US?
Yes, correct.
So right off the bat, I can tell your resume is not ATS friendly because you have skills section that's put into a table format. Some ATS can read that and some cannot read that.
Okay.
So anything that's in columns and tables, headers and footers, if you want the ATS to read it, then it should not be in headers and footers. I table stuff. So that's the number one issue. You got a summary and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 bullets.
Mm-hmm.
It's overpowering, too much text. You got to get to your messaging right away, right? Like manage and track projects, proven success, created custom, like all this is your job. This is actual stuff you've done in each of the roles, right? So they
Right.
need to be in the roles you've done it, and you don't write a summary. What you need to write is the value proposition.
Okay.
How you've been on the call for how long?
Today in
Yeah.
this one, more than an hour, right from the beginning, actually.
Perfect. So then in the beginning I showed a format of a resume, how it needs to look like. It's
Yes.
ATS friendly, the value proposition. Okay. So if you've been on the call for an hour, do you have a good understanding of where you're going wrong with your resume based on what I've told other people?
Yeah, with respect to summary here, in terms of this one, you said value proposition, but then keep it simple, and then after skills, you need to highlight our leadership skills and etc. in a more understandable way.
Now your leadership skills, it's not about putting things into leadership skills. It's about what results, how would the company profit from you? What results can you deliver? Right? Like I see under the experience section, you wrote like the first role, you only wrote
Oh,
like 3 bullets, but again,
right.
it's more focused on what you're doing versus talking about the problems you solve, solutions you implemented, results you got, and where's the results? And if
Okay.
you look at how you see at the presentation of your experience, everything is cramped up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the font, it's all, yeah, there's no
It's
space.
so clustered. There's no space. The key, I think a lot of people I think you're trying to do is cramp a lot of stuff in, but what you're failing is how you're coming across to the reader.
Okay.
There does need to be a white spaces nicely. Let me show you. I'm gonna pull up my resume again. The key isn't about how much information you can cramp in. You
Mm-hmm.
also need to have the presentation in your resume has to be nice and easy to the eyes. You got to look like a high level presenter. You can't look like somebody who's messy, cluttered. And that's how your resume comes across. It comes out very messy and cluttered and busy and so text heavy. The reader shouldn't feel, when they look at your resume, the reader shouldn't be like, oh my God, like it's overbearing with text. You don't want to
Okay.
give the reader anxiety. Your resume, first of all, first rule of psychology is people will scan your resume first. They're not going to sit there and read your resume. They're going to scan it. So your resume has
Okay.
to be scannable. So the way I teach people how to put a resume together and how to present it, this entire resume format is scannable. Meaning,
Okay.
what makes it scannable? The leverage of different ways of presenting things. So we have this is centered. Then you got this as a paragraph. Then you got 2 sentences. They're starting with bullet, highlighted, bolded, right? This makes it easy
Yeah.
to navigate, easy to scan. Then you got the skills section, easy to scan. Then you get into the experience section. You got the company name, the title, the month and year, and then you got
Okay.
a hook statement. This is a power hook statement that
Mhm.
grabs reader's attention right away. It's a bold statement. Then you got a summary paragraph. Then we go into bullets. This entire resume is designed based on psychology of how people will scan documents.
Okay, but when writing any resume pointer, usually what I have understood is we need to always have the what, the why, and then the result. So, for example, what I did in that particular project, why we did that, and then what did we achieve in the end. So,
So I don't know who's teaching that. I'm not gonna. I would say that's wrong. It's not
Mhm.
what, why, and results. It's
Mhm.
problem, solution, results.
Okay.
There's no what, why. This is the problem. This is the solution. This is the result. You can start the bullet by the solution you implemented to solve X problem, which resulted in X result. That's how simple the bullets messaging is. So I teach that message. I have in my resume writing course, if you take it, I teach you how to a formula on how to write bullets,
Okay.
structure your bullets. A lot of people, when it comes to resume writing, a lot of people are teaching a lot of stuff. None of it's backed by science. None of
Right.
it's backed by psychology, right? So my entire teachings are backed by science and science of psychology, how people read, how people make decisions. I've been
Mhm.
working in HR for 20 years, and 20 years I've been studying human behavior.
Okay.
20 years. So everything I teach is backed by science. And
Understood.
also you can't write resume for one type of reader. A lot of people, when they teach resumes, they're teaching it for one type of group. And the reason that fails is because we can't put everybody into one box and say this is it, right?
Right.
Everybody looks for different information based on who they are, right?
Got it.
So
Yeah.
in your resume writing course, I also teach you there are 5 types of recruiters and 5 types of hiring managers that you need to impress, and how to communicate to each 5 of them in your resume. You're not When you're sending out your resume, you don't know which type of person you're dealing with.
Right.
You can be with somebody who just wants a one-page resume, for example, who just wants the results, and that's it. That's now when you write a one-page resume, you're only writing it for a particular type of group, and you've
Okay.
for other type of groups. I've broken down groups, and there's 5 types of people, and based on psychology, and your resume has to speak to all 5.
Okay.
We can't, once you start writing it for one type, then you lose out. And that's where a lot of the problems are coming now, why people are struggling to land interviews in their resume writing, is because we're focusing on, a lot of people are teaching how to write resumes from their perspective and their mindset.
Mhm.
But that doesn't take that, but that leaves out a lot of group of people.
Okay.
My resume writing is based on psychology, science, backed by science teachings, and I also teach you 5 types of hiring, like hiring managers or recruiters, and how to write
Mhm. The perspectives. Okay.
and how to speak to each of them in your resume.
Okay.
Resume writing becomes really easy if you know how to write one, and how to I also teach you 8 key elements that your resume needs to have in order for it to become interview worthy resume. That's my our course is called Interview Worthy Resume. Your
Mhm.
resume has to be interview worthy for you to land interviews.
Got it. Okay.
So I would recommend taking my interview writing course.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it then.
Okay, sounds good?
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, you went. Who's next? Supriya, are you still here?
Yep. I'm just waiting to see which page I can actually share.
Do you have your resume ready to share?
Yes, I do. Can you see it? Yes.
Can you make it bigger, please?
Yes, for sure. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Okay, how are you currently looking for a job?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How long have you been searching?
I just started applying again like a week ago, and so far I've applied to around 15 applications. Have not heard back anything, but I'm also assuming.
When you said I started again, were you already looking for a role and you took a break?
Yes, but I wasn't very actively applying.
It doesn't
So
matter if you're active or not. If you're applying, you're applying.
Yes. So I was
How many jobs have you applied altogether?
around 20.
And out of the 20, how many first calls did you get?
So far, nothing.
Okay, 0. So your resume is not converting.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to switch things up. Oh, I see you written result driven. Never use cliche words like result driven or accomplished. Everyone's using these words.
Right.
I'm going to flip the script. Also, guys, this will be the last resume review. You can watch the replay. I'm tapped out for energy. It's been an hour and a half since I've been reviewing resumes. So this will be the last resume. Everyone, I just want to summarize so far before I jump into this. If you look at, and when I'm reviewing resumes, if you pull out your resume, you should be able to pinpoint what's working, what's not working in your resume. The key elements that I'm finding so far that the common mistakes everyone's making is, yes, the format is a problem as well, but the biggest thing is that the language, the messaging, how you package and position yourself. Are you coming across as an expert? You're not coming across as somebody who a company can profit from? What problems can you solve? What results can you deliver? So the key comes down to the messaging in your resume, the bullet points, the message and the bullets. So these are the key elements that everyone's missing out. And a lot of times what's happening is that you don't understand the different type of recruiters and different type of hiring managers and what they're looking for and how to win them over and how to communicate to them. So messaging is the key here, the writing, the language in the resume, right? So if you really want to start landing interviews, you need to start thinking out of the box in terms of, you need to start thinking, this is where psychology comes into play. There's no one fit shoe solution here. A lot of times when you're getting advice on the internet and TikTok or YouTube, people are giving advice from one aspect of it. Like, I'm a recruiter, for example. Someone would say, I'm a recruiter and this is what I'm looking for. They're not wrong and they're not right. So they're not wrong. They're sharing their perspective. But it would only work if they were the recruiter that's looking at your resume, right? So when it comes to, when we're applying to jobs, you have to keep in mind that there are tons of people that are going to be reviewing your resume. So what will work for one person is not going to work for another person. What works for another person will not work for the third person. So the thing that I teach in my resume writing course is the 5 types of hiring managers or recruiters based on psychology. Psychology is the key to win here. I'm just going to mute you just so that we don't have a background noise. I see everybody's asking me to review resumes. This is the last resume that I'm reviewing. If you want me to review resumes, I do private reviews and I do charge a small little fee, $50. And what I do is I record the review in a video and you'll get a link to watch the video with my feedback. Feel free to you can schedule that and then you'll have a recording of it and it's a private review. I run these sessions once in a blue moon. So unfortunately, I can't review everyone's resumes. But if you really want me to review and you want me to give you personal feedback, I dropped the link where you can book your resume review or private session with me. Okay. So those are key elements that I just wanted to share. So Superior based, I think you've been here long enough. So I want to just flip and do a little thing different with you since you're the last person. How about you walk me through based on what you've gathered so far, the information, and let's see if you can pinpoint where you're going wrong in your resume.
So the first thing that I'm hearing again and again that you're telling all of us is instead of putting it as a profile and using keywords like result-driven professional, adept managing multiple complex projects and all those common words, make it something in terms of what the company wants to hear.
More in terms of, it's not what the company wants to hear. What's your value proposition? What's unique about you that your competition doesn't have? How will the company profit from you? How will the company benefit from you? What will be the company's ROI? Everyone has to understand one thing. When a company is hiring, they're making an investment. They're physically making an investment. That salary they're going to give you, that's going out of their bank account to pay you. That health benefits, that's going out of their bank account to pay for those health benefits. It's an investment. What happens when we invest money? What do we all want from our money?
To return like value to it, right?
When we invest money, what do we want? We want to double that money,
Profit,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so return on the investment. Nobody in this world ever puts down money without wanting something back from it.
Right.
When we make money, when we're investing money, we're investing it for a reason, right? So we want an ROI on it. If you want to grab anyone's intention in today's world, you have to speak on what's important to them, what they value, what's the ROI. When hiring is an investment the company makes in their business, but they want to get 10x that. How are you going to generate 10x ROI for a company? If a company is going to give you, I don't know, what salary did you want?
Around 90 to 100.
So just go 100K.
Yeah.
So if you want a company to pay you 100K in base salary, how are you going to 10x the ROI back? Everybody's got to start thinking 10x here. Everybody's playing it small in terms of I just want a job and my resume. Let's remove the element of a resume, for example. Let's remove the element I just want a job. Start thinking in terms of how will you 10x company? If you land a job, how would you 10x for them? How would you add, what would you do and then this is where the ROI comes in. Like if you want someone to hire you, you gotta spell out the 10x. Hey, when you hire me, this is how you're gonna benefit from me. This is how I'm gonna 10x your ROI for you. This is how much results, these are the results I can get for you. The problem is a lot of you guys are speaking and just shooting, pardon my language, just shooting the shit without really understanding the other person and what's important to them. How many people actually do a deep dive research before they even apply to a job, before they even write a resume? A lot of you just, again, everyone's writing resumes from a thin air. And that's why you're struggling. This is why more and more people are struggling to land interviews, because you're writing resumes from thin air. You're not writing resumes to understand the person you're sending it to really study them, to understand what's important to them, what is value to them, what do they want. When I say what the value you bring, I can guarantee everyone's going to tell me the value they bring based on your perspective. Nope. To be honest, in the company the value of the company is important. The company is not from your perspective. It's from their perspective. How many people actually understand company's perspective of value? Let's have a discussion about that. I can sit here and review resumes all day long and I can tell you everyone's making the same mistakes. Eventually, I'm be honest, eventually it does get boring for me to, that's why I can only review resumes for an hour or an hour and a half, because they're all the same. Everyone's making the same mistake. But I think the way I can add value to everybody today is how many people actually understand what the company values. What's value to the company?
So if I can give my input, so when I am applying,
Just
I
gonna
would-
bring everybody on the stage so that everyone can speak. So this is a collective discussion. What have you do you understand? Have you done research to understand before you send your resume, before you write a resume to the person you want to send it to? Do you understand what they value?
Yes, I think we can grab it from the job description. Yeah,
Okay.
what skills they need, and like
But that's not value, right? They're telling you what skills they need, but what is value add for them?
yeah, it's from the company. Usually at the top they describe what the company does and what they value and what they are expecting from the expert from this position and the like. So usually they describe it, what their mission, vision, or what they're expecting from the
Yeah,
position.
but that's the company's information. What I'm saying is, do you understand what they value? You can't
that
write
is
a value.
numbers?
You can't write a value proposition if you don't understand what the person you're sending to, what they value.
I think so. For them, skill set is a major concern.
No,
Okay.
no, that's one aspect, but skills, you do need to have the skills for the role they're looking for. That's already on the job description. You have to start thinking, what does the company value?
Turnover, numbers, results.
Who said that?
What the
Sorry, who
accomplishment?
said that?
What we
Results,
did.
numbers.
Supriya.
Priya? Yes. Companies value. Here's what company value: money, time, safe. Money is the bottom line of every business. Company needs to be profitable. So money is the number one thing companies value. It's actually number one thing a lot of people value. Money, time. People value time. People don't want to waste their time. Savings, people want to save. Wherever companies can save, they will save. That's why technology keeps getting integrated into every company, because technology helps companies save a lot. These are three main things that everyone values: money, time. See, when I asked the question, do you know what the company values? And look, the couple of people that did try to answer the question just stuck to job descriptions, the company's mission statement. That tells me you don't grasp or have a deep understanding of what the company's value. All you're doing is saying on the general terms of all companies' mission statements or the skills. Those are the things that companies are looking for in a candidate, but that's not what they value in the end of the day. It's how can you generate money for them? How can you cut costs for them? How can you save time for them? Where can you save anything for them? Where can you speed up time for them? You cannot, if you don't understand this, sadly, you will always continue to struggle to land interviews, land jobs. But biggest problem with that is you're always going to be underpaid. If you don't know the value you bring to the table in a way that is value to the person, you always have to know what's value to the person you're speaking to. For example, I know what you value, and hence I said I'll do a free resume review, and boom, everybody's popping up on this session. People can't get into the studio. I have all these comments, and I said, okay, whatever. Now, how is this value to you? It is value. It's free, so it's valuable. But bigger thing is, I have 20 years of experience. I'm going to read your resume. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it, what's working, what's not. So there's value add to you, right? Now, the minute if I put a dollar value, say I'm going to charge, which I did put in the group, hey, if you want me to review your resume, you can book a session. Now you're going to think 2 times, 3 times, 4 times before now you're going to think in terms of money, right? So first thing's what's going to happen now, where there's money attached to it, you're going to start thinking, well, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? Is it worth me spending $50? Now you're going to have all these series of questions because now there's money involved. And companies doing the same thing. Now, when I said it's free, nobody questioned my credentials. Nobody even asked me what's my skills. Nothing. None of you guys asked me any questions about me, my skills, to even give you a resume review. But the minute I put dollar value onto it, you're going to have series of questions. That's psychology. We all do this. And it's no different from what the company's doing. So companies can put out and they want X, Y, and Z skills. In the end of the day, just because they said they want the skills doesn't mean you're landing the interview. By the way, you have to show money, time, and savings. You have to show how you will generate money for the company. Where would you cut costs? How will you reduce costs for the companies? Where can you speed up time? Where can you save time? So it's much more deeper than what meets the eye. And that's what I'm teaching everybody, is on what really will get you results versus just sitting on the internet and just finding another template, finding or using ChatGPT to write your resume. Until you don't understand yourself and the value you bring, no ChatGPT, no template, no formats in this world will help you land a role that you deserve to land. But bigger thing is get the pay you deserve to get based on the work you deliver. I can guarantee many of you on this call don't know how to communicate in terms of what you actually do, the work you deliver. A lot of you are speaking just from a job description point of view. And there's no fault to you, because that's what we've been programmed and conditioned to think all these years, that job descriptions, job titles is what we need to speak on, our skills and credentials and our strengths. But that's not how the world operates. In the real world, that's not what people are really looking for. I can tell you because I have 20 years of work experience working in HR. In the real world and real hiring manners, it's way bigger than that. It's way deeper than just, a checklist of, oh, this person has this credential, this person has this skills. It's way bigger, way more in depth involved. And that's what I teach, the depth of what's going to help you land those roles. And actually, if you want to get high paid salary, tons of people are underpaid for what they actually do, the work they deliver. And that is the most sad piece I've ever come across, is how many people are underpaid for the work they're actually doing. I work in HR and I can tell you time and time and again how many people are in roles and they're underpaid. Now, at some point, you're going to start holding yourself accountable. I know many believe that companies should already pay you what you're worth. That's not true. Companies never going to pay you what your true worth is until you start to know what your true value is, what you're truly worth. Until you don't own your own worth, you can't expect someone to give you a handout for it. That's just how the real world works. I know we want the world to be perfect. I know we want employers just to give us the highest paid salaries. That's just not how the world operates. You have to command it. You have to know what you're worth. You have to know your self-worth. You have to know what your dollar value is. You need to know how to communicate and confidently communicate and to get it. Sadly, those that know how to communicate and negotiate get the higher deals, and those that don't will not get it. I work in HR, I can tell you 100% that's how it works on the behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, there's one recruiter that put it out there and she got flacked for it and people reeled her for it, and she got a lot of backlash for it, but all she was doing was communicating the truth. She gave the salary the candidate asked for, even though the budget for that role was much, much higher than what the candidate asked for. But she was sharing the reality, and people backlashed at her for sharing the truth. That's the world we live in. We live in a world where we will bring someone down for speaking the truth, because we don't want that reality. We want the reality where, oh, the company has a 200K budget, they should just give me 200K. That does not how the real world works. In the real world, no one's going to give you 200K. You got to exhibit that. You got to show them the results. You got to show them the 10X. You got to show if they give you 200K, how you would 10X that right back into their bank account, what the ROI they're going to get. Until you do not show that, no company's ever going to give you the max amount of salary that they can possibly give. The other thing is, they don't have to have the budget 200K to give you 200K. Companies, if they really want you and you're saying I want 200K, they will find the money in their bank account to give it. I have clients that have done this successfully. Well, obviously they had some hesitation to do it, but me being their coach and working in HR said, listen, they have the money to give you what you want. Right now, they're doing a dance, they're playing the game. You can either still have the upper hand or lose out to them and become a slave. Or you can stand your ground and say, no, this is what I want. It's their job to figure out how to make it happen. Just like when you go shopping, don't you try to bargain. Don't you try to get deals, rates. Why do people love Black Fridays? Why do people love Boxing Day in Canada? Because you're getting stuff for 50% off. Why do people love it? And why are these sales created? They're created around so that companies can generate more revenues. Companies not losing out money by saying it's 50% off. They're generating more and more sales. So we all want a deal. We all want bargain. But when it comes to employers, we have this mindset that, oh, the company should give me higher salary. They should be the better person. That's not how the real world works. That's my message here. So we want to start landing more money, get paid high salary jobs. Everybody here can do that. But you need to know how to make that happen and how to operate in a real world. Not where you're just stuck in a system that's groomed and conditioning you to think that you are just a job title, you're just the credentials you have or the skills you have. You're way beyond just credentials and skills. But until you don't get out of that system that's programmed you to believe you're just job title, the experience you have, the skills you have, and the degrees and credentials you have, and that's all the money you can make, you'll never make more money, to be honest. Making more money has nothing to do with credentials, years experience you have, and has everything to do with the problem you're an expert in solving, the solution you can implement to solve that problem, the concrete results you can get, and you actually have evidence of getting these results, and how the company will benefit from you. PCSR. P, problem. C is cost of having the problem. S is the solution. R is the result. B is the benefit. Until you don't understand that language and you can't speak in that language, sadly, you'll always be underpaid and you'll never get the true potential salary you can actually make. And that's where I come in, and that's where I actually work with career professionals like you to get you to speak this language and exhibit that and communicate and package and position you as an expert to land high-paying salary roles and become high-paid earners in your field. And 100% that's doable. And I've been doing this work for 20 years. So if you want to work with me, feel free to message me. So this is where I will wrap the session. Unfortunately, I couldn't review everyone's resume. My capacity is very limited when I do free resume reviews. But if you want to book a free resume review, not free, sorry, I don't do free. I do offer private resume reviews. I dropped the link. Feel free to book one. Now, I would highly recommend those that are struggling to land interviews to take up my interview writing course, which is, by the way, 50% off right now. You can grab it for $47. And I can guarantee you one thing, if you take this course and you do exactly and follow the teachings, you will start landing interviews. People's phones were ringing off the hook by taking this resume course, and it can do the same for you. And people have landed high-paying salary jobs by following my teachings, even in the resume writing course. It's $47 investment that will generate 10x ROI for you. And if you want,
do we have any coupon code for this, Gurpreet? Because it is showing $99.
It's already discounted. You don't need a coupon. I
But
made
it's
it
showing $99 only. It didn't show 47. The link which you sent now, I'll click on it and I'm trying to enroll in that, but it's showing me $99 only.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
No, it says original price is $99, but that's not the original price. It in brackets is saying it's $99. I'll make that change right now. Okay, you should be able to see the changed it on the back end, so you'll be able to see that now. Because last whole week, for a few days, I had it where you can pay whatever you want.
Okay.
So that's why I said pay what you want. Original price is $99. Original price is $99, but you can grab it today for only $47.
Okay, thank you so much, Gurpreet.
You're welcome. Okay, so if you want to have a resume review with me, you can book a private review. I will send the link. I will drop the link. And it's just $50. And it will be a private review where I will review your resume, and then it's a video recording and you'll get a link to it. So you can get a private review from me that way. And I've dropped the link to the resume writing course as well. Any other questions before I wrap the session up? Any questions?
Just one question.
Yep.
It's still related to the resume. The template that you shared in the very beginning of when we jumped into the course, mine says result-driven professional, but I felt like it's kind of the same format that you were sharing, but it's clearly different from what you have given me the review of. Would you be able to let me know a little bit of what to write in that section? I understand that we are pitching in terms of what business wants to see and what we're providing to them.
Okay, so you're saying that you've written similar to what I was showing?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I didn't see you write this.
It's not the similar, but like in terms, it's not very result driven as well. It's more of a journalized of what the person have in terms of experience. So would it be, so if
can you see the difference between what I'm showing you on the screen and what you've written?
I can, but there are similarities also.
What's the similarities?
So in terms, we are telling them we have 15 years plus experience.
You do have to spell out that you have the year's experience because people want to see that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what's similar?
So that one portion, and
that's just the you have to put down how many years experience you have. But if you look at everything else, this is all the value the person's bringing right off the bat. They've already communicated they can generate $130 million in annual revenues. You don't have that on yours.
The bottom part of it. Yes, I don't.
No, right in the bottom, forget the bottom, right in the beginning, right? Building high-performing sales team and boosting revenues by $130 million. Then it says lead
I
team.
see what you mean.
So you can't say the similarities just because one line is the same. The depth of what this is communicating. Also, You have to understand this is a resume that I wrote for a client that's targeting a VP level role. So they have to highlight the team buildings and all that stuff. You have to know, so you can't just copy and paste this resume and call it a day, which is a lot of what people do. And that's why I just show this resume as a format of a temp, as what your resume needs to look like. But when you start reading the depth of this resume, this is a salesperson, and we've shown the revenues, and we're just highlighting the revenues, the entire
Everywhere, yes.
everywhere, because that's what sales is. If you can't get sales, like what fancy titles mean nothing. So
leverage in terms of how you are bringing those results when you're presenting your resume to any job, depending upon the sector you're applying.
You have to communicate in terms of money. You just do. Doesn't matter what role you're in, everybody has to learn how to communicate in terms of money. Otherwise, you're not going to get interviews. Forget interviews. You're not going to land a role that's going to give you the highest paid role. Let me ask you a question. Sister. You know your dollar value. How much how much are your dollar value? How much are you worth?
For the current skill set that I have, 100K.
And how did you come up with that?
Depending upon, I'm going in terms of what I have done the market research, what's the market value existing for a current role that I'm doing.
So your worth isn't determined by the market rate. This is where everybody goes wrong. So you haven't put a dollar value on you. You're going by what the market's dictating your value. See the difference?
Right. Yes.
So you're asking 100K based on, okay, I did some market research, and the market research saying if in this role I can make this much. That's not you putting a dollar value on you, by the way.
It's just what I'm hearing from everybody else.
Yeah, but that's not you putting a dollar value on you saying this is what I'm worth. You see the difference?
Right.
Like I put a dollar value on me, and this is what I charge. My rates don't change based on the market, what's happening in the market. No, I know what I bring to the table and what results I can deliver. For example, hourly rate, I charge $500 US. You want to get into my group coaching program, that's $7,500 US. You want to work with me one-on-one, that's even more. That's like 20K to work with me. Now, can everybody afford it? No. Does everyone going to say they can give me this? No. But do I get clients? Yes. Do people pay me? Yes. Right? So my value doesn't diminish or is determined by the market. My value is determined by the results I can produce, and I have proven history and testimonials from my clients that I've gotten these results, right? Your dollar value is based on what you've already accomplished, the problems you can solve, and you have proof of that. So that's like saying, okay, like for example, let me relate it down to something you may understand. When we look at brand names, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, you think they determine their price based on what's happening in the market? No. They've established their quality. They've established the brand. They know who they're targeting, who their target audience is, and how much they want to charge for their products. You can buy a same t-shirt. Like you can buy a t-shirt, 100% pure cotton t-shirt for like $10. Chanel puts their name on it. Now that same t-shirt, just because their name's on it, their logo's on it, now is worth a lot more. So that's brand recognition. Brand recognition and brand value. Right. Now, if you want to become a top paid earner in your field and you want to make more money and you want to get paid into high paid roles, you can't look at the market and say, this is my value. Because market only looks at three things: experience, number of years experience you have, skills you have, and credentials you have. It cannot calculate the depth of the way your brain works, how you go about solving problems, how complex problems can you solve and have solved in your career history, what results you've produced. That's an individual thing. Number one way to get underpaid is by only asking for what the market rate is. So you don't know your dollar value. If you're anybody that's going to tell me my dollar value is based on the market, I can tell you 100% guarantee you don't know your dollar value. Again, you're letting other people dictate. That's not how we determine a dollar value. We don't let other people dictate our value. We go by evidence of what our work quality we've produced. I teach this, by the way, in the 4 days career challenge on how to put a dollar value on you. It's free. I teach you, I think on day 2 training, I teach you how to determine your dollar value.
I'm going to book a slot for myself. Thank you, Gurpreet.
A lot of you, I hate to see people get underpaid because they're just asking for the market rate. They have fear based on the market. Oh, the market's bad. I'll be honest. Market isn't bad. There are tons of companies that are hiring. You don't need to see thousands or hundreds of jobs to validate that oh my God, the market's great. Companies are always, I teach this in my teaching in 40 days career breakthrough challenge. It's a 4-part training, and I teach you how companies are always hiring. Companies are always looking for the next best talent. And there are companies, and I give you a list of 100 companies that are constantly looking for the next best talent. They're never going to say, no, we're not hiring. Companies will create positions just to hire you. But you have to be the high value caliber, right? You can't come from a mindset that my job title is my market rate, my market determines my rate, and my job titles on my credentials. You can't come from that mindset. So there has to be a mindset shift. If you want to make more money in your careers, one thing you have to quickly learn is that nobody owes you anything, by the way. Nobody owes you anything. Number 2 is you got to get out of the victim mindset. And meaning that you got to take ownership. You got to start holding yourself accountable. If you want something, make it happen. You want to become a top paid earner, make it happen. Because they exist. But if you go into it's not going to happen, it's not going to work out for me, no company's going to give me that, then guess what? That is going to be your reality. But if you go into a mindset, this is what I want, this is what's going to happen, and I'm going to align myself with companies that are going to give me that, it's going to happen. But if you come from doubts and fears, it's not going to happen, right? So everything in our lives are driven by our thoughts, how we feel and how we think. Best thing you can ever do is tune out the noise. One of the best things I've ever done, I don't listen to the news. If you ask me what's going on in the news, I'll never be able to answer. News is filled with fear-based. Just constantly fear, 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 fear. And the last 2 years, all we have heard is layoffs. But yet, what's happening to everybody is your mindset's now thinking that there's no jobs, when the reality is the opposite of what's being fed in the media. I can tell you this, I work in HR for 20 years. If a hiring manager wants to bring somebody on their team, they will make it happen. 80% of all hiring actually happens before jobs even posted. And a lot of companies will post jobs just for the sake of posting because it's a company policy, but they already have a candidate they want to hire. And a lot of you, not a lot of you, but I know tons of people know this because I've seen a lot of posts about this on LinkedIn. Oh my God, the company's posted a fake post, fake job posting. It's not a fake job posting. It's a real job posting. The only thing is they already have somebody they want to hire, but they have a policy that they need to follow. So they have to post a job. So there's a tons of things that are happening. You got to understand that 80% of companies do hiring before they even advertise the role. Companies are always looking for the best next talent. Companies always want to bring in the bright and the best and the top-notch people in their companies. You just need to know which companies to target and which companies want that and how to go after them. But you have to also now think like them. You can't think from your mind the way you've been programmed. If you want something greater, you have to start thinking like those great people. That makes sense.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, for the resume review, it's that with $50.
Mhm.
Does it include any like updating
No,
and
it's
completing?
just
or
it's
just
exactly
overview?
like how I've done it today. It is a resume review. I do go a little bit more in depth than I did today. I give you my feedback just like how I've just like if your resume landed in my inbox, I'm recruiting for something. I give you my expert advice. I read each section and even each section up to the first job. I read the first experience section. I give you my entire in detail. It's like 10-15 minute review. It's recorded. It's only a one-time review. I don't make changes. I do suggest changes if I see something that can be changed. I will question stuff, but I give you an in-depth 10-15 minute review.
Okay, then after updating, it's only one-time review. So
Yeah,
no
you can
feedback
update your,
after editing.
if you want, once you got the review, you upped it and you want me to look at it again, you just use the same link to purchase it. Or you can wait when I do another one like this, which I don't have a schedule. I can't guarantee when the next one will be. Best thing to always do is just book a private review.
The other link I got is interview was resume with this one, and it's says $47.
That is the resume writing course.
Yeah. So what does this include? Is it like writing from the scratch, or like
I teach you how to write a resume.
mhm.
Hold on. Let me send you. Okay, so I'll send you the write-up. I'll cover. Let me tell you what you're gonna get.
Yeah, from one of the link you dropped on the chat.
I dropped the direct link to. Oh no, I did drop the link. Okay, so here's what the resume writing course covers. Let me share the screen so everybody can see it. You are going to get a step-by-step formula, my proven formula that's going to help you write resume that's going to land you into with Fortune 500 companies, the top-notch companies like Meta, Amazon. And then you also get sorry?
That's the first link that I was talking about.
Yeah, so this is the page that has all the details about the program, the writing course. You also get this session is included where I interviewed. I had a roundtable with these hiring experts. Some of them are VP and some of them are talent. You can see VP levels is a mix of everybody that actually shared their insights on hiring. These are something that they're not publicly sharing. This session alone is valued at 2,000 plus. These are just testimonials. I will walk you through how to write your resume. I've given a framework on how to write your resume. So interview winning formula, your unique value proposition, how to determine. I give you my value formula so that you know how to put a dollar value and how to write what value you bring to the table, and then how to communicate it in terms of what's important to the company from their aspect. 8 key essential elements your resume must have. ATS friendly resume. I also included a bonus training in there. 5 types of hiring managers and recruiters you need to impress that I didn't write here. I give you my 6-step resume process writing. And then I also give you 5 types of hiring managers and recruiters you need to impress, which is not on here. So the training itself is 2.5 hours. And then you also get that bonus session. Plus I give you ChatGPT.
Does this course include reviewing a resume, or just the course?
No, this is just a course. Yeah, this is only you get the course. This is a digital course, meaning that this is you're getting get recording. Actually, let me show you what you're getting. Let me actually show you, take you inside the course. It's a recorded course, so you get the videos for life. And this is the breakdown. So interview-worthy resume. What is a resume? Your value proposition, 6 steps to interview-worthy resume, 5 types of recruiting and hiring managers, 8 key elements to interview-worthy resume, 3 key relationships building. There's a Q&A and then the hiring secrets from Roundtable recruiters and hiring managers. So you're getting all this. It is about 2.5. So there's 9 different lessons. You also get workbooks. You're also getting, I give you the intro, kickoff, and then stats, and you also get workbooks. Define your value workbook, career journals, ChatGPT prompts. So there's 2 types of different prompts. I also give you ATS resume. One is with examples. So there's a lot of done for you stuff in this, and then a clean version of the ATS, and then quick reference guide that you can use. So that's all included in this resume writing digital course. When it's an e-course, a digital course, usually what that means is it's do-it-yourself solution. That's why it's $47. Now, the second, if a lot of people want to work with me, I do offer like a mini boot camp on writing a resume, and that's $400 US. And that comes with the course plus 3 live sessions with me in a group setting where you will write your resume, and then I will rewrite it with you, fine tune it, review it, give you feedback, what needs to change. So I add my magic touch to it. Then it will look like this resume that I showed you on the screen or in the beginning. So the final product working with me, if you join the group, if anybody wants to join the group boot camp where you get the resume course plus the live coaching sessions, the final product of your resume will look similar to this, where this is actually written by me. So in the coaching sessions will help you work with me then to fine tune your resume, where I won't personally write your entire resume, but I will actually rewrite the wordings to make it to the level it needs to be. And then it will look like the resume I just showed you. So that's an option as well, and that's $400.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions before I close this session? Okay, I've dropped all the links. You can book a resume review. I see people have already started to grab the resume writing course. Make sure you guys grab it, because I can guarantee you one thing: without learning how to write a resume that lands you interviews, you're going to just keep struggling landing interviews. The competition's high competitive. You do need to learn to write a resume that sets you apart and land those interviews in the high competitive environment that we're in. It's a 47. I would guarantee it's going to be the best investment you ever made. Everybody who's invested in it said it was the best investment. Learning how to write a resume is a life tool. It's a lifelong tool, because let's be honest, this is not a one-time thing that this is the only time you're going to be looking for a job. So if you learn how to master how to write a resume, the skill is needed for life, an entire duration of your skill for your career. So you invest 47, you'll learn how to write a resume for a life. That's a sweet deal to have. And it's just a small little investment. And you will have the course for life access. Life access just simply means the life of the business, duration of the business. If there's any changes in the access, we always give you 60 days notice. But pretty much the life access will stay there, because that's my masterpiece on how to write a resume. So grab the link. I've dropped it. If you need any further assistance, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn. If you have my email, feel free to email me. I do prefer communication through the DMs if you have any questions. If you want to book a private resume review, I've dropped the link as well. So thank you so much. And I have to go now. So enjoy the rest of your day and a happy new year.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much.